We're in Amarillo because we're in the middle of a actually 6,000 mile run, and we're going all around the country for multiple purposes actually, to show off a car that we just finished a 2,222 mile rally green, first place in fuel economy at 180 miles per gallon. Now, as we're going around, we're also trying to make people aware of United Way and all that it does, and that's why we have both the Stealth and the United Way on our shirts. Now, the Stealth is called TriHybridstealth. The reason for that, it's a tri-hybrid because it's human, diesel, and electric powered vehicle. The thing about the human power, and it's the Stealth because, as you can see, a NASA aerodynamicist said it had an aerodynamic coefficient about a 1.3 to 1.4, and yet you'll see it's done with all flat panels. Every panel on the whole car is flat. And so what's cool about that is if none of the, let's say for instance, if none of the car manufacturers, if none of the home motorcycle manufacturers want to pick up the Stealth and do something with it, it really doesn't matter because we can start a grassroots. This thing can be built by anybody in their own garage or shop using flat pieces of plexiglass, flat pieces of aluminum, welding up a frame. It's simple. There's nothing about this car that somebody with a little bit of skill in mechanics and welding could not build this car. So that's why it's the tri-hybrid Stealth. Now,
so why is it tri? What are the three?
Tri, again, is human, diesel, and electric, all three. Now, the human effort about this, what really got me going about the human effort, is there's two statistics from the United States Bureau of Statistics that really got my attention. 90 to 95% of everybody in the United States that has home fitness equipment or is paying monthly to be a member of a spa or health club is not using either one. The other thing that got me in building this car is 90 to 95% again of all vehicles in the United States at any given time. If you stop them, there will be one person in that vehicle 20 miles from home. So what America needs 90 to 95% of the time, if you'll really think about it, is a one person, maybe two person like this is, vehicle so they can drop the kid off to school and go on to work. Vehicle, a high mileage, easy to operate vehicle, and number two, if they're not getting any physical fitness, which we desperately, just the number one thing we need in America in our health is not more of this, more of that, we need more exercise. And so if they're doing all this and not getting the exercise and they're putting out the money, what if, I said to myself, what if, don't even pedal on the way to work, just pedal on the way home, jump in the shower and you're done for the day. If they're spending that kind of money, it means it's not fitting into their day, but going home from work is already fitting into your day. So pedal on the way home, jump in the shower, you're finished, you got your cardiovascular, you help the environment, you cut down on dependence on foreign oil, all in one package right here. It's just really cool. It kills about 4 chickens with one rock.
So what brings you to, why Amarillo? Why?
Amarillo's my home. I was born and raised here in Amarillo. I went to Whittier Elementary School, Travis Junior High School, Paladar High School, West Texas State University. My wife also went to school here. I don't think I can name all of her schools, but she went from through Tascosa High School, West Texas State University. That's where we met. And so we're from Amarillo. We own Purdue Acoustics here in Amarillo, which by the way is the greenest acoustics company in the world. And we have a plant in Erin, Tennessee. So at this point in time, we're just coming through Amarillo to our hometown, bringing the car through here, and then from here we go on to Nashville, or actually the suburb of Nashville that we're from. And then hopefully that will be the end of our 6,000 miles. Unless the Discovery Channel makes us go on to Washington, D.C. Well, that's still up for grabs. We'll see what we do there.
What about the commercial possibilities of this type of vehicle?
Well, the thing is that since it has an engine, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't use a little larger engine and put both air conditioning and heat in this car. So if you have a car that can do highway speeds, you can have heat, you can have air conditioning, there's absolutely no reason why this technology couldn't be used. Now, will you get 180 with AC? Probably not. gee, wouldn't it be terrible if you had a car with heat, AC, would run down the highway, take you to work and back, and only get 120 miles per gallon? Wouldn't that be awful? But it is absolutely, positively a possibility. But now, why wouldn't I or an individual create it? I don't think America will buy a car that they can't get serviced. And so it's either going to have to be a grassroots home built situation where you build it and then you repair it, you know, yourself, or it's going to have to be picked up by the Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, one of the motorcycle places, or a car manufacturer. What I've noticed though is it's almost impossible for a company to downsize. American car companies don't know how to make a smaller car, so hopefully the motorcycle companies, maybe even Harley-Davidson, could jump in and make an enclosed thing, because it's all made out of four-wheeler and motorcycle parts anyway.
Is this licensed as a motorcycle?
It's licensed as a motorcycle, and it's licensed in the state of Tennessee, and it has insurance as well. So it's all insured fully and has a license plate. As you can see, maybe you can focus your camera. Oh, we're looking at the front of the vehicle. On the back of the vehicle is the little Tennessee license plate.
Well, does that mean that somebody who drives this would have to get a motorcycle endorsement on their license?
It does mean that, but the good news about the silly law that you have to have a motorcycle license to drive this is that you can get your motorcycle license in this. In other words, no balance and all the stuff you have to do to ride a motorcycle, you could get your license in this vehicle. And so that's going to make it a lot easier.
What about the Wobbly Wheel thing that we've heard about with this?
The Wobblin Wheel is 100% bling. It has nothing to do with economy and all that kind of stuff, but it is so absolutely cool. It's amazing. And to think that a guy right here in Amarillo, Texas, took and created a wheel that has the possibility to absolutely take over a $17 billion a year industry is amazing. And so I'm very proud of my son for being that guy. It's the first patent on a wheel since 1927. And he literally reinvented the wheel. What it's all about is it has a plate that is cantered, and then it uses different thick and thin regions in the rim to counterbalance that plate that is on an angle like that. So it's all about bling, but you know what? If bling brings attention to the economy of the car, then that's a good thing. Just like the bling of the wheel brings attention to the car and the car to the wheel, they both bring attention, in this case, to the United Way. And so that's what brings the whole kind of a package together. Here we were getting unbelievable press. We've been on Discovery Channel twice. They're about to do a third show on us. Wired magazine, the #1 magazine in the world. All kinds of TV news and everything. And it just gives us an opportunity to also talk about the United Way and the greater good. Because you know the car is about the greater good, with the dependence on foreign oil, the economy that it can bring to the individual as well as to the country, the exercise that you get from it, just like the United Way pushes and promotes exercise in children. But you know, I've noticed something about our children here in the United States. I've been a Cub master. I've done a lot of work with kids, and I've noticed something. They don't do what you say. They do what you do. So if you want to see the kids get exercise, the adults need to get off there and go get a little exercise themselves. And that's the thing about a vehicle like this, is it enables adults to get the exercise they need and be an example to these children. I am thrilled about what the United Way does to promote and talk children into getting more exercise, the Play 60 program they have. And I got to put in a little plug right now about the United Way. We were talking with these ladies that are here with us today with the United Way, and they were telling me that one of the programs that they support is the YMCA. I've got, like I said, I'm from Amarillo, born and raised here, and I've got all kinds of stories I can tell you of my hours and hours and hours at the YMCA right here in Amarillo, Texas, where I, as a child, got physical fitness and enjoyed all the different programs and swimming and all the stuff that we did down there. So I am glad to use this car as a platform to bring attention to the United Way as well. It all works very well together. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of go back to the you say it's got pedals, it's electric, and it's diesel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you calculate the 180 miles per gallon, is that includes the pedaling as
It-
well as the electric and the diesel?
Yes, it does, and you can't really That's what's beautiful about the way they put up the miles per gallon or the miles per gallon equivalent equations, is that human effort doesn't count. That's not, it's not costing us anything in the environment to contribute to the vehicle. It's basically free energy. Human energy is like wind energy and solar energy. It's free energy. We're just not tapping into it, not using it. If a vehicle's going to take this 200 pounds down the highway, it's not. There's nothing but good that can come of this 200 pounds helping that vehicle carry it down the highway. Now, one thing that I didn't mention that I think you'd be very interested in is this vehicle has what is probably, we've researched it and we can't find anybody else, but the only high voltage pedaling system in the world. When you pedal this vehicle, it doesn't put out 12 volts, it puts out 90 volts DC to the battery pack directly. And in fact, it's funny, when I was coming down out of the mountains in Colorado, I was going slightly downhill, but there was a forward wind. The diesel was all we need to cruise. Remember, the electric motor is only used for 0 to 60, getting 0 to 60 quicker, your takeoff, and then it's used to help climb hills. And so since I wasn't climbing, I was slowly descending down through there. I actually ended up with more voltage in the battery pack after 80 miles than I started with. So if we hadn't had a break at 80 miles at that point in time in the trip, I could have gone all day long and never used any electrical energy at all, more than what I was putting in through the human effort.
So the pedaling actually turns an alternator?
It's a special alternator
that feeds the batteries?
That feeds the batteries. The pedaling, and you can get a video of that here in a minute. Get some. We'll raise the door, and you can actually get a picture or a video of that. But it's a pedaling system that turns an alternator that is specially made with extra fine wires to create high voltage at low RPMs. That is correct.
And tell us about the diesel engine. What kind of diesel?
The diesel engine that we use is a HOTS diesel engine. It comes out of Germany, and it is the most fuel efficient, cleanest burning little diesel engine in the world right now. I paid a ridiculous sum of money, in my opinion, for this little diesel engine, but it was because it was the cleanest burning, highest mileage little diesel engine that was made. So I purchased the engine to go in the car so that we could just do the very best that we could. And it's an amazing little engine, but it burns 254 grams of fuel per horsepower hour. That is just sipping fuel. As a matter of fact, in our run in the Stealth, we actually had some of our competitors in the rally that said that we got 204 miles per gallon. They thought we went 10 miles further on 50 ounces of fuel than we thought we did. And so we took the more conservative estimate at 180 miles per gallon.
So are you, so this is a two-cylinder engine?
One cylinder.
A one-cylinder.
It's a one-cylinder, whopping 10.5 horsepower diesel engine. And the electric motor is a 5,000 watt electric motor capable of 15,000 watts for 60 seconds. You find that most, any time that you take off 0 to 60, it's going to happen within just a few seconds. Most little hills that you climb are going to be over. If you count to 60 and imagine yourself going up a hill, that's not going to get you over Raton Pass, let's say, in 60 seconds. But most any little hills in America, on the way to work, on the way home from work, unless you work at the top of a ski resort and have to get back down, then I wouldn't suggest one of these vehicles to you. But if you're just climbing the normal little hill, you just hit it, you got 60 seconds to boost over that hill with amazing power.
What's your 0 to 60 time then? Have you ever done a 0 to 60?
Yes, we're under 10 seconds, 0 to 60.
Okay. And you referred to the cost of the motor. How much was the motor? How much was the whole car? If somebody had to build a car like this,
well,
not counting the labor.
How much that I have in this vehicle and how much you can build one for are two completely different things. because I have probably somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000 in this vehicle. But the thing is, how many engines did I go through? How many transmissions did I go through? How many times did I weld the frame up, throw it away, start over again, tear it apart, re-plexiglass, re-aluminum, re-tire? How many sets of tires did we try before we found what we like? Wheels, suspension system, you name it. But the thing is that if you went with something less than the Hotz diesel, which there are others out there that burn a little more fuel than it does, but if you went with a conservative diesel engine that's on the market today, with a conservative electric motor like we have and everything else, this car could be built for easily under $7,000. There's just not that much there. You have a little diesel engine, could be gas if you wanted to, you know, just depends on your preference. But you have a little engine, you have an electric motor and controller, a frame, four-wheeler front end, motorcycle rear end, some plexiglass and aluminum, some control stuff. How expensive can that be? If you add it up in your head, you're going, my goodness, that's not a big deal. And it really isn't a big deal. That's the whole point, is why are we doing what we're doing when it's not that big of a deal to build a vehicle like this? And like I said, you could do it yourself. You know, anybody with reasonable mechanical and welding skills could build this car. It's not that big a deal.
I'm good. Yeah.